and throw this stream on here. So that's what I'm doing. If you come to the channel for the full game super plays, I have some news for you. I don't know how many of those I'm going to be doing moving forward. Yeah. I've been playing games on this channel for quite a while, very consistently. And the problem is, do these videos, I get a bunch of subs on a random game, and then those subs don't translate to future views, you see. And the games that I'm playing on here, I pay money for. And with the channel being monetized, I was thinking, you know, okay, this will work out. For a minute, I was making a pretty decent living wage because I was able to post not only gameplay, but also the main menu music. What's up, Carrot? How's it going? So I was able to post the main menu music, and oftentimes those videos were doing better than the actual gameplay videos. And like I said, those videos were able to be monetized because it was using content from within the game. I wasn't just grabbing the soundtrack off of, you know, someone else's YouTube or from the game itself, like downloading it. I was actually going ahead and, you know, I would record like an hour of the main menu of the games I purchased, and I would put that music with the menu animation in the background, and those videos did really well. And then YouTube demonetized my channel out of nowhere one day, and I found out you can't do that. It's like, okay, well, a warning would have been nice. You guys allowed me to monetize those videos for several months, and it was never a problem. And then one day out of the blue, boom, demonetize the channel. Making money off just the gameplay videos has not been easy. It's not working. So what I'm saying is I don't believe that I can afford to continue doing those types of videos like every day. I mean, I probably shouldn't anyway, because it's taking up a lot of time that I could be spending working on art, which is ultimately the goal here. Whether it is drawing or whether it's working on a new album, both of those things need a lot more attention. So I might be transitioning over to more of this type of shit where I'll live stream perhaps daily and get back to doing that, and just work on art while I'm doing this. I don't always have to stick with the Dreamcast either. I think as long as I'm talking over top of it intermittently, allowing conversations to take place, then YouTube should be okay with that. Because this right here, this ambiance in and of itself, it's a modification. It's not like I'm just showing the game's menu screen. So as long as we have a little bit extra going on, then I think that's okay. And I can interact and such a bit here and there. I don't want to divert my attention away from my studies, as it were, all the time. But checking in and chatting up, that could be good. So I think that's where things are headed here. I've enjoyed my time doing all these random games and discovering a lot of cool content, but gotta change it up, I think. So that's what's going on here. So I'm just working on, you know, some grinding style artwork tonight. Nothing too exciting. just grinding it out, practicing. I was starting to do, you know, some, I guess, more serious shit. I started working on an actual page for one of the books that I'm going to be doing, Strawberry Blonde. And, you know, it's not like it was awful, but I looked at it because I didn't just, it wasn't like just a sketch. I did like an actual page, inked it and everything, and I was checking it out, and I was like, you know, I'm not quite happy with where I am yet. And so we're going to hold off, and we're gonna grind some more. It's like when you think you've leveled up enough in a game, so you're gonna go and you're gonna take on that next boss fight, but then you get there and it's like, no, got a little more work to do. That's basically the experience I had, and that's okay. I think that's actually good. Some people get there and, you know, maybe they use a cheat code to get by, or they use some really cheap tactic, and then they progress to the next part of the game, but they still suck. And that's not what you want to do. You want to make sure that when you move on, that you are fully prepared for what's up ahead. And as far as artwork goes, music, drawing, I'm not going to release anything that I wouldn't pay for myself. And if I look at my shit and I'm like, I can do better than that, I just need to give it some more time, then that's what I'm going to do. So rest assured, when I am ready to release something, it will be worth the wait, it'll be worth your while. And if you are the type of person who would like to actually own whatever that thing is, if you buy a copy, it's going to be worth your money. I'm going to make sure of that. I'm not out here to shit out some half-assed product and then hope that people are just friendly enough to purchase it. Something that they're going to get in the mail, flip through one time, and then toss in the garbage. That's not what I'm interested in. I'm not going to be doing any of that around here. So, yeah. So we got Rippin' Riders on the TV tonight. I tried a couple different games before I started here, and for some reason, this Dreamcast, this is a finicky Dreamcast. I examined the back of the discs of several that did not want to play, and I don't know what the deal is.
Ready, go! Here I go.
This is a Japanese Dreamcast. So the whole thing was, oh, it's modded so you can play. It's a Japanese Dreamcast. It's been modded to play US games. Or it can do both, you know, supposedly. So it's not doing very well. Not a very good success rate, you know. It's like maybe 60% of any game I put in. There's a 60% chance it's going to work. So I might have to go down and get my regular ass Dreamcast, my old one, the one I've had, you know, since the early 2000s, whatever year I got it. Maybe it was 99. Anyway, I've had that one for a long time, and it works like a charm. I also think I'm going to bring up maybe the PlayStation 2, maybe the 64. I mean, I can plug anything in here and get it going. The tried and true Dreamcast will probably be making an appearance next time I stream, because I've got some other games. There was something else that I wanted to put on here, and I couldn't do it because this guy is just a big old pain in the back. It gives me a lot of back pain. Okay, so I'm going to continue working on some of these picture doodles here, and you can please enjoy the lovely sounds of ripping riders. Ripping riders. There's your booklet. Bomb that cliff, baby.
Come on, man, let's get it on. Ready? Go! Here we go! Everyone's watching. Show us what you got. Here comes the trick point. Ready for it? Bomb that cliff!
Bomb that cliff. Hey, look at that. Carrot has given me my very first super chat. Holy shit. Thanks, Carrot. I appreciate ya. Well, let me read it here. Carrot says, whatever you decide to do with your channel, I'll still support you. Can't speak for everyone, but I'm here for the ride. Well, thank you, Carrot. That is so nice of you. Thank you very much. That's a historical moment here in the Super Divorce YouTube channel saga. Very first super chat. Look at that, $9.99. My wife heard me upstairs. Well, of course I'm going to be excited. Very first super chat. Come on now. Gotta give it up for that. Toast to you. Thanks, Carrot. And thanks to you also if you've given a thumbs up here. If you're watching, please give an old like to the video here on this stream. Hopefully it is the very first of many super chats. You know, it's because it's something else to get a super chat when you're at this level. Most of the time you think of bigger channels getting a super chat because you've got all these people in the chat vying for the attention of the person streaming. The super chat, of course, is a way to cut through the chatter to make sure that you're seen and hopefully to get a response from the person who's running the stream. When you're just here hanging out, as you might have noticed by now, I like to interact with pretty much anyone who comments, so the super chat is never necessary. It's always appreciated if you ever decide to do another super chat. Never feel any pressure to, though. Anyone, whoever's here, whoever might be watching, but always appreciated. Never taken for granted. So thank you. Glad I popped my head back over here to check in. Well, shit. Carrot, look at that. Another goddamn super chat. Another $9.99. Setting 2 milestones. Up to 1998. This is a very lucrative stream for me. Thank you for, making it worth my while here. Not that it wasn't before, but sheesh. Look at that. Carrot is going wild. Carrot's gone wild. It's like the theme of the stream. God damn. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's so nice of you. Two super chats. I almost didn't come on here tonight. I was looking at the time. I was like, well, I don't know. It's 12:30 too late? No. Plenty of other people start streams sometimes much later than 12:30, so, yeah, I'll hop on here for a bit. I'm glad I did. And I'm glad that Carrot decided to stop by, not just because of the super chats. It's always a treat just to see, a return viewer stopping by, popping by to hang out. That is a cool robot. The fancy muscles robot that was sent in. I like that guy. It's kind of obscured. I've got my camera set up on or my phone on a tripod. It was kind of obscured by, you know, one of the bars that holds this thing in place. But I can see it now. That's pretty neat. I like that guy. Maybe I'll draw a picture of him and post it on Instagram and Twitter to commemorate the occasion. Hey, Carrot says, no problem, man. You're a super underrated content creator, and I know how absolute hell it is to start a new channel. You deserve every view and so much more. Just make sure to do what makes you happy. Well, I will continue to do that. That's all I've tried doing from day one, is to, you know, test out different types of videos, different types of streams, different types of content. Ultimately, you know, I'm not going to do anything I hate. Like I said earlier, the video game playthroughs have been cool to do. I have missed live streaming. I've missed interacting with people. When I first started this channel and putting stuff up here, it was really exclusively me streaming from my phone. And then YouTube changed the rules out of nowhere, as they like to do. And they made it so that you couldn't stream from your cell phone unless you, I believe, had 1,000 subs. So once that was taken away, I really didn't stream as much. Not nearly as much. Back when I first started, you know, when I was doing a lot of streams, there was a period of time when I had a pretty decent number of people who would drop in and hang out, and that was always cool. And then, poof, that was gone. So I had to figure out other types of things to do, and that's been the name of the game, is just trying out a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And the gameplay videos were doing well, bringing in subs, bringing in views on the videos, but like I said, it just didn't seem like the amount of money that I was spending on games and the amount of time I was putting into games every day was paying off. You know, because it has to make sense to keep doing it. And not that I'll never do another gameplay video. I will. It's just, it probably won't be a daily occurrence. So, probably more streams. Now that I can do that again, and now that we're bringing in super chats, shit. Especially. Not that I expect them. I don't want to sound like I'm getting ahead of myself here. But now that it's happened, I'm like, okay, well maybe, you know, maybe in the future someone else will drop in who decides to throw a buck or two. Throw in their $1.05. And I'll try and keep it fresh here with new and exciting games going on in the background as I hone my artistic abilities. And yes, YouTube, they certainly, yeah, they like screwing the little guys. They take care of their big channels, their big content creators, but a channel like mine, they don't care. They're still making money off of my channel because they put ads on my videos, but I'm not bringing in millions of views every day, so they really aren't going to listen to me if I have a problem. Though I did appeal. They did listen to my appeal the last time they tried to demonetize me, or actually deny reinstating my channel for monetization. I had to appeal that, and I won. I was quite surprised. I was expecting them to just kind of brush me off, but perhaps I caught, you know, a caring, kind soul behind the scenes at YouTube, and they granted my appeal. So that was good. That's one good thing that's happened. But as far as changing the rules up on the fly, making decisions without throwing you a bone, without letting you know what they're doing, that stuff, that's probably going to continue for as long as YouTube is YouTube. And yeah, they do market it that way. Carrot made the point. They market it as if it's really this platform that's for the little guy, and really, you know, they cater to their big content creators. They cater to celebrities. They try and get celebrities on their platform to, you know, to start their own channels, and then they really push those to the top of the algorithm, put those kinds of things in everyone's recommendations. So that's just the way it is. You just kind of, if you're going to do YouTube, you just kind of accept that, and you say, all right, well, those are the conditions we're operating in, and the name of the game is to figure out a way to succeed really in spite of YouTube being YouTube. You have a limited number of tools at your disposal here, and you've got to figure out how to make them work. And you can either whine about it, you can bitch about it, moan about all the problems with the platform and how unfair it is. It is oftentimes unfair, and there are plenty of things you can bitch about, but if you spend all of your time dwelling on those things, then you're really screwing yourself over, because that's time that you could be putting into figuring out how to utilize what you do have in front of you. So that's what I try to do. I try not to spend too much time bemoaning the state of YouTube. What am I up to here, you might wonder? What kind of grinding am I doing? Well, so I've got a particular style that I'm trying to work on. A particular kind of retro manga style from a particular artiste. And I've taken to heart some advice from Todd McFarlane that I heard him give in an interview, I think a few years back. And, you know, he was answering the question, what should you do as an aspiring artist? Like, where do you get started? What should you practice?
Ready, go!
And I really like Todd's advice. He said, practice drawing the things that you want to draw. That might sound overly simplistic, but really, there are a lot of people out there who spend a bunch of time drawing things that they never really plan to implement into, you know, their passion project. So you might take an online course or something that says they're going to teach you the basics. We're going to teach you the fundamentals of drawing, or teaching you the fundamentals of comic book making, comic book art. Then you look at the artwork that the creator of the series puts out there, and it looks nothing like the stuff that you want to do. So if you spend months practicing from a course that presents material that has you drawing in a style that you don't want to draw in ultimately, you're kind of taking a big detour that you don't need to take. And so McFarlane said when he began drawing comics, what he did was he didn't study anatomy books, he didn't take courses on how to draw, he didn't worry about about learning to draw realistically. He studied comic books. He opened up comic books, he found pictures of the human form drawn by other artists who he wanted to emulate. And when it came to drawing backgrounds and buildings and cars and whatever, you name it, he learned how to draw those things by studying the way they were drawn by the comic book artists that he looked up to. And, you know, that seems like such a simple and obvious common sense approach to learning and to teaching yourself, really. But it's not something that I think a lot of people do. People think you have to learn. First, you need to learn how to draw realistically. Then you can learn to sort of play with the rules. Well, I'm going to listen to Todd McFarlane when he speaks about artwork, especially comic book art. And if his advice is learn to draw comics by looking at comics and practicing from comics, that's what I'm going to do. And so what I've done is I've kind of put a list together of all the different types of things that I want to include in my book. And I am just going through all of the artwork done by this particular artist I'm studying, and I've got basically a mountain of material, luckily. Definitely enough to really find multiple examples of basically everything that I'm looking to do and just go to town on all this stuff. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna put myself through the ringer over the course of I don't know exactly how long, at least the next month or so, and then see how far I've come after that. That's kind of the plan right now. Is drawing my biggest passion? Carrot wants to know. Well, I would say that my number one has been music. Drawing is something that I've been doing since I was a little kid. I've always loved superheroes. I've always loved comic books. And there was a period of time, you know, when I was in high school, where it actually considered leaving like the regular school and going to the career center because they had a really awesome comic book art program there. And ultimately I didn't do that. I stayed in the regular high school and started playing in bands, got into that whole scene, and that's what I did, you know, out of high school all through my 20s, was playing in bands. And you know, had some success with that. Went on tour, did all that jazz, got signed. Getting signed was the worst thing that ever happened to me as a musician. Signing with Trustkill Records, which became Bullet Tooth, which was crazy at the time because when I was in high school, I used to listen to bands on Trustkill. And then several years after that, I was actually on the label, and it was a complete joke. It was awful. Super Divorce, of course, started as a band, and over time has just whittled down into this one-man thing that I'm doing here. So it's like, I plan on making more music. Kind of have an idea to incorporate the music into the comic book that I'm doing. So that's what's going on here. And it's like, drawing is something I've been decent at. I've always been really good at sitting down and I could look at a picture of something I thought was cool and do a really good job copying it, you know? But I never got super serious about learning to draw just off the top of my head. And that's sort of what I'm doing right now, is really trying to cement that skill, put that in place, work on drawing my own stuff.
This corner's pretty gnarly. Hang right. Whoa! Bender, bender. Whoa! You really cracked those turns. Yeah, baby. Rip it! Hey, see that? Here comes the trick point. Wait for it. Yeah, pretty good. Keep it up.
Oh, you used to make music in high school, did you? Well, it's never too late. As I'm showing here, I mean, I
Ready?
let the drawing thing go for a long time, and I mean, like I said, I was considering drawing comic art, doing that kind of thing in high school, and then basically took off until I was about 30. I would say it's in the past year and a half or so that I've really started taking it seriously again. So I mean, from the time I was basically 18 until 35, I just kind of let that interest lie dormant. So I would say it's never too late to pick it back up. If you enjoy making music, then why not? And it's never too late to take it seriously. You know, a lot of people get this idea in their heads that if they don't succeed when they're young, like right out of high school or something, that you just have to let it go and you can't get back into it. Or maybe you can pick it back up as a hobby. But that sort of limitation is completely arbitrary. People think that once you graduate high school, if you don't continue on to college, then it's like you lose the ability to learn things. You lose the ability to get good at things, to where you can become a professional in whatever field it is that you have in mind. And there's just no truth to that. So pick it back up if you want to.
Bring it on! Ready, go! Here I go! Everyone's watching. Show us what you got. Here comes the trick point. You ready for it? On that clip. Woo-hoo! Yeah! Yeah! You're good. Keep it up.
Carrot wants to know if we have any pets around here. Yeah, we've got 2 dogs. We've got a small, yappy, annoying, what is it, Beagle Pomeranian. That dog is called Warrior. And then we've got a golden retriever named Phoebe. She is about a year old now. An absolute nut. And then we got 2 cats. Sprainard, a gray and white cat, and Mr. Henderson, an orange and white striped kitty cat. Those are the house pets. The cats are pretty chill. They don't cause a lot of trouble. The dogs, however, you know, some people just gush and gush about how much they love their dogs. Not quite there yet. I think Phoebe will be a good dog eventually. She just has not figured out how to calm herself. I mean, you can't even, it's impossible to sit with her. It's like if you try to get her to come up and sit on the couch or something and pet her, she just, it's like she starts going into convulsions. She just does not understand how to be a normal dog yet. We took her to training. We've done that whole thing. Helped a little bit. She doesn't really jump up anymore, so that's good. But she can't hang. She can't just hang out. Oh, you got a Chiweenie. That sounds evil. Sounds like an evil dog. Those little yappy dogs, you just gotta watch out for them. They think they run the show. They think they're gonna scare everyone off, you know. It's like if anyone happens to drive in front of our house, if anyone walks in front of the house, it's like that dog, Warrior, is just offended that anyone has the audacity to even exist outside of this house except for the people who are here. You know, anyone else who happens to be seen alive, not walking up to our house, not in our yard, but just if they can be seen and they don't live here, it just Warrior loses his mind. Which I guess is good if you are dealing with an intruder situation. I mean, he's not going to do anything to him, but you know, he would probably let us know long before anyone got into the house that someone was coming up. That we, you know, we have the alarm system too, so that's extra protection. But we probably don't even need an alarm since we have that dog.
Sir, it's time. Ready? Go! Here we go! Here comes the trick point. You ready for it? Let's go. Unbelievable! Never seen anything like it. And coming! Oh, yeah. Point up ahead.
people have always said that the comic book artist Robert Liefeld is afraid of drawing feet. He would do everything he could not to have to draw a character's foot or feet, position them in a way on the paper where he could avoid doing so. There's a good reason for that. For some reason, difficult. But I hope to be saying something different very soon. Hey, Jess knows what I'm talking about. Having to hide the feet. No, it's good though, because it exposes a weakness in the game. Shows you what you need to shore up. Exactly what you need to attack. Which is what I plan on doing here. Carrot says, I think it's good to challenge yourself. Avoiding something just because you're not the best at it means you'll never improve in the areas you need to. Well, there you go. That's exactly right. 100%. Absolutely. Yeah, I guess, Jess, you're not doing too many foot-centric pieces. But wait until someone asks you for a tattoo of a foot. Or how about a whole sleeve of feet? I want a full foot sleeve. I want my right arm covered in feet. Then what are you going to do? Or a foot back piece Just a collage of feet in various positions, various shapes and sizes. Getting into creepy territory. Well, what do you call the people who work on feet for a living? What kind of doctor is that? Is that a podiatrist? Could be that a podiatrist comes through and wants a full body piece.
Hey, watch now, I'm ready to rip. Ready? Go!
Nothing but feet. Head to toe. Cover me in feet of your choosing.
Here comes the trick point. Ready for it? Bomb that cliff.
Yeah, podiatrist. There you go. Well, you might have a podiatrist come through with a lot of money to spend who says, design for me one full body piece of nothing but feet. Carrot says, if I ever saw someone with a foot sleeve tattoo, I'd be both appalled and curious. Well, I think that's an appropriate reaction. I don't think you'd be alone in that feeling of curiosity, nor the feeling of being appalled. Yeah, those Mikey Mega tutorials are good. Some good basic concepts there. Carrot thinks this announcer has the most 2000s voice he's ever heard. Yeah. I hear that. I mean, this whole thing is early 2000s to a T. And we could have had so much more. Talked about it last time, but I mean, just imagine if the Dreamcast had enjoyed a nice healthy lifespan of the like the PS2 got. I mean, it's pretty crazy when you think about how long the PS2 was around before they completely stopped making games for it. I mean, I was working at GameStop back in what was it? Probably 2012 or 13, I feel like. And you know, the yearly soccer game was still coming out on PS2. It was getting like no new games ever, but once a year, like the new soccer game would come out on PS2. And I don't know exactly when the last year was for that. I feel like it had to have been somewhere around 2012-ish. But I mean, imagine if we would have had close to 15 years worth of Dreamcast games. Instead, we got like a small smattering, a small handful of Dreamcast games. Tragic tale. Here's a question for the audience. Carrot, do you happen to be a Stranger Things fan? Are you watching Stranger Things right now, or have you? Jess and I are 5 episodes in to season 4, and I'm pretty surprised, actually. I thought it was going to be tough for them to top season 3, and I think they're doing it. The ending segment of the 4th episode of this season might be my favorite thing throughout the entirety of Stranger Things so far. And I won't spoil that for anyone who hasn't watched it yet, but powerful stuff. Oh, you watched until season 2 and then got caught up in other shows. Yeah, you really need to get back into it. Now's a great time, too, with all the hype, you know, and gonna have part 2 of season 4 coming out. But yeah, the ending of episode 4 of season 4, probably my favorite thing, my favorite few minutes of the entire series so far. Incredible.
Here we go. Ready, go! Here's my line. Everyone, here comes the trick point. Ready for it? Yeah, let's
Yeah, get back into Stranger Things ASAP, Carrot. You won't be disappointed. You'll be glad you did.
Here we go. Ready? Go! Here we go. Everyone's watching. Show us what you got. Here comes the trick point. You ready for it? On that cliff. Oh. Well, this is unbelievable. Never seen anything like it.
Oh boy, I think I'm gonna wrap up soon. Just trying to find something real quick. Something before I hit the road here. Carrot says I write a lot in my free time, and one thing I've been struggling with is get too ambitious or have too many ideas floating around. Do you have this problem, or do you have any tips on the matter? With too many ideas, when it comes to that, I would say ideas aren't necessarily bad. I don't know if you can have too many. It's just making sure that you prioritize them. One of my favorite thinkers, speakers, whatever you want to call him, he's an author, does a great podcast. Jocko Willink does the Jocko podcast. One of his big pieces of advice is prioritize and execute. So if you have ideas, that's great. Keep track of them. Don't let them go. Don't let them float away. You should always have something nearby that you can write your ideas down on, a piece of paper, a little notebook, or an app on your phone. Whatever it is, if an idea hits you, then make sure you get it down so you can come back to it later. But don't get bogged down by your ideas. That's where the prioritize comes into the equation. You have to figure out where the ideas rank. And you can't do everything all at once. I have a million things I want to do, and that's, it's not always easy. It's simple, but it's not always easy because, especially if you're a creative type person and there are a lot of things you're passionate about and you get these new ideas that hit you, the newness and the freshness of it can make it seem like that's the most important thing. But that's a trick. So you have to be careful of that, to not let the new and the fresh idea become the one at the forefront just because it's new. So if you're working on a project that you've decided is like the thing you need to get done, don't put that to the side and start working on something else just because a new idea came to you. Write it down, get a record of it so you don't forget about it, especially if it's something you think is good, and then sort of let it marinate for a short period of time, and then come back to it and compare it to the other things that you have, ranked in order of importance. And it might be that the new idea that came to you actually is the thing you should be working on. Maybe it actually is the first thing that you need to get done. And if that's the case, then you realign your list of tasks, list of things you need to do, re-rank them. That's something you should take a look at from time to time. But you just don't want to do it too often, because if you're constantly putting a new project at the forefront and shuffling what you're working on to the back of the line because something else came to mind and, I need to get on this. A lot of times you really don't. Especially if you have a tendency to, like I said, take the thing you're working on and put it on the back burner because some new idea came to you. If that becomes a habit, you can see where that leads you. You end up completing nothing over time. because you're constantly working on the new thing. And you're excited about the new thing. And that excitement only lasts for so long.
Ready, go! Here I go! Here comes the trick point. You ready for it?
New idea comes to you, you're going to be tempted to, oh, just put this over here. I need to work on this new thing for a little bit. Then when you're working on that new thing, another new idea comes to you. The new thing becomes old, and so on and so on, and it just becomes a really nasty cycle to get into. And I think that probably most creative people fall victim to that at some point. But if you can catch yourself, if you know that you do it, then that's good, because you can fix that behavior, and you can kind of make a deal with yourself, and you're like, okay, well, this thing I'm working on right now, I'm going to complete it. I'm going to get this done, and that other idea that I had, it's still going to be there. When I get this finished, that other idea that I think is so great and so awesome that I want to throw everything else to the side and start working on it, that's still going to be there for me. So that would be my advice there. Prioritize and then execute in the order of importance. And that doesn't mean you can't work on more than one thing at one time. But I would say that when you're prioritizing, like, make sure the thing at the top of the list is the thing that you absolutely get done every day. And then whatever, you get that complete, you can move on to the next thing and do a little bit of that. For instance, you know, if you wanted to jump back into music, start working on music again, it's like, all right, I'm gonna spend an hour every day coming up with song ideas, doing songwriting. If that's the number one thing, then make sure you do that. And that doesn't mean that once you get to 1 hour, you can't work on it longer than that. But it means when you make that deal with yourself, you at least do that much. And then if, you know, there are other projects that you want to work on, you can add those in too, after you have made sure to do item number 1 and get that crossed off the list. That's what I would advise you to do on that. And I know that from experience, because I'm constantly having new ideas, new things come to me, and I think I said so on the last stream I did. This one book that I'm working on, that I'm kind of preparing to work on, rather, once I get that done, I've already got an idea for the next story that I want to do. And there was that temptation there for a second when that idea came to me. It was like, well, maybe I should do that first. And I stayed disciplined, thought about it, and I was like, you know, I've already committed to this story. I'm going to make sure that I do this first. This thing that I've set out to do is going to get taken care of. I will get to the next story when the first one's finished. And I'll probably have more ideas come along. Who knows when? I'll just keep stacking them up. And then when this project is finished, I can take a look at all the different things that have come to me while I've been working on this one comic book project that I have going at the moment. I can examine everything that has sort of been waiting in line, and then choose what looks best after this one, because I haven't committed to the next story. I know there are different ideas, but there's no reason for me to commit to any of those right now. I've already got this one that I'm committed to, and when this is finished up, then we'll take a look at all the other options. All right, let's see here, where in the world Hey, no problem. Thank you for stopping by. Of course, thank you for the 2 super chats. Fantastic. Really do appreciate that. And I hope to see you next time, Carrot. Take real good care over there. And I think that's going to wrap it up for me tonight, too. So, anyone else who happens to be here or is watching later on, thanks for your eyeballs and your ears if you're listening to the sweet, sweet sounds of the Dreamcast. We might have a different system hooked up next time. Who knows? We'll see. If you've not done so, please like this video, comment below if you've got anything at all. Sub to the channel if you've not done so. Make sure that you bong the gong for notifications. Click that little bell so you know when new videos go up, so you know when I'm going live. Come and hang out. Take real good care. Keep kicking ass. Love you lots. Lord willing, I'll be back very soon with another video for you to watch. Bye-bye.